Alright, how's everybody doing? Today's project is going to be this shelving unit that I got from work. Normally, if this was like a particle board or something like that, I would just throw it in the trash. I wouldn't even bother with it. But they were tossing this one, and it's actually real pine. So it's real wood, so it's worth fixing up. It'll last forever. And you can sand it as much as you want and wood putty it and fix all the problems, and then it'll be in good shape. I'm going to use it, if it turns out properly, to replace a current shelving unit I built a couple years ago, and I'm just going to have a change. So I'll show you that. Oh, we got a little friend, one of our lantern fryer buddies that are killing all of our trees. Well, goodbye. That's the end of it. Ooh. They're faster than they look, but he's done. So let's get started. Alright, for sanding it, I'm going to start with a 100 grit to knock down all the big stuff, and then finish it off with a 220. Now 220 isn't real fine. It's fine, but not real fine. But I just need it deep enough so that the exterior paint that I'm going to use is going to stick to it. If you use exterior paint and it adheres really well, if you bang it, it won't chip like this. It'll dent, but it won't chip. It'll save you a lot of trouble in the long run. I will use these squishable sanding blocks for all the curves, and I'll do them by hand, because if you try to do them with a sander, you wind up rounding out the edges and screwing them all up, and then they look like crap. So I always do all the fine edges by hand. It's a little piece of advice. some satin all-in-one paint and primer. It's exterior grade. And I'm going to spray it with my Wagner Flex IO 570 sprayer, which I've learned a couple lessons with. I did a couple projects with it. One is be outside when you use it. I did a couple projects in my basement, which is kind of big, but the problem is the overspray gets all over. And I actually have a computer lab on one side of my basement, and the paint overspray got all over my digital printers and stuff like that. It just turned into a real mess. So I learned my lesson, and now I do all my spraying outside. After putting the first coat on, I noticed that I have a couple deep scratches that I didn't notice when I was sanding. So we're going to go back and fill them up so that you can't see them after I paint it, the final coat. Alright, we're just going to take some wood filler and fill up these cracks. Alright, now I'm going to clean this up, let it dry, and then I'll hit it with some sandpaper, and they should turn out perfectly. don't know if you can see this on the camera, but it looks like there's almost like a little texture to the paint sprayer. Now, after doing some research, figuring out there was nothing wrong with my actual sprayer, what has happened is it's actually, because it's too hot out, it's actually 95 degrees outside. So what happens is when you're spraying the paint, it adheres to the surface, but then it starts to dry too quickly and it doesn't have a chance to level out and get smooth. So that's what happened here. Now, it doesn't bother me that much. It's a satin finish, so you really ain't even going to notice it. And I honestly don't mind it, a little bit of a texture to it. But just so you know, you shouldn't probably spray outside in 95-degree weather. Lesson learned. I learn something every time I do something. But here we go. That's what happens when you spray when it's way too hot outside. Okay, I got my LED lights, and what I'm going to do is run them along here, the inside edge, the underneath edge of here, all the way down, around, and back around the bottom. Hopefully to this point back here. That way we have a perfect square all the way around. The light will come from the top and from the bottom, illuminating everything in the shelves themselves. Alright, let's see how it works out. Okay, here's a little piece of information that I learned. See where it turns here? This will eventually, no matter how good your adhesive is, pop off. So what I like to do to keep it from doing that is I get a hot glue gun and I just fill in this little space here wherever the stress points are. And then give a little movement, get that in there real good. Now that, let's keep it from popping out. I'm also going to glue it here and glue it up here. And anywhere it meets up or it turns. So here, here, and here in 3 points. Here, here, and here. That way it'll never fall down on you. Because the adhesive that comes with these LED lights is usually, it's 3M, it's usually pretty good, but for some reason it just doesn't like to stick, like especially if you have like central air or something like that. It'll, the humidity changes a lot, whatever, yeah, it'll pop off. So that just keeps it from moving. Now when using these LED lights, I stay away from using them clamp-on clips. They always seem to fail on me, so I actually buy these little clips on Amazon and I hook everything up this way. I've never had a problem doing it this way. You just stick your positive end in your positive end, tighten it down, negative in your negative. Now it's real simple to plug it in and unplug it just like any other outlet or socket. I don't have to strip these wires, but you get the idea. This is my current shelving system that I have in my living room, that if this one turns out, I will be replacing it with. Cool thing about this is first I made it out of just some scrap that I had laying around. Second thing is it's all connected to my home automation, and I want to do the same thing to that shelf too. Okay Google, turn off the arch.
Alright, turning arch light
The
off.
backlighting, during the day it's not that impressive, but at night it gives it a good, nice, like even glow to it, and it turns out real nice. I like the way it looks. So we'll do the same thing with the other shelf. Alright, I am happy with the way it turned out, so I am going to replace my old one with this one, and it looks pretty good. I'll have my daughter put all the stuff back the way she likes it. Okay, Google, turn on the arch.
Okay, turning arch light on.
And that's what it looks like when it's all lit up. Very nice, bright. I like it. I like it. This is the end product. I got lucky enough for the boxes to fit in there. They fit in there perfectly. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Alright, how's everybody doing? Today's project's going to be this shelving unit that I got from work. Normally, if this was like a particle board or something like that, I would just throw it in the trash. I wouldn't even bother with it. But they were tossing this one, and it's actually real pine. So it's real wood, so it's worth fixing up. It'll last forever. And you can sand it as much as you want and wood putty it and fix all the problems, and then it'll be in good shape. I'm going to use it, if it turns out properly, to replace a current shelving unit I built a couple years ago, and I'm just going to have a change. So I'll show you that. Oh, we got a little friend, one of our lantern fryer buddies that are killing all of our trees. Well, goodbye. That's the end of it. Ooh. They're faster than they look, but he's done. So let's get started.